Good afternoon, my dear children. Yesterday's class we learned a story. I told you a short story about Huey. But what we came to know, one can offer to be generous only if he is rich. Are you agree with this statement? If you are agree, then you must have to write the reasons also. So today we are going to learn lesson, your textbook page number 44. Read the lesson and understand the benevolence of the story, The Lover. First part of the lesson, how he was the lover. Huey Renske was a good-looking young man. He was liked and admired by both men and women. He never said any unkind word about anyone. But he was not clever and never had any money. He was always changing his job and had tried everything. At one time, he had worked on the stock exchange, which had lasted for 6 months. He had been a tea merchant for a little longer than that, but soon got tired of selling tea. Then he tried selling stationery instead, but again he failed. At last he gave up trying to work and lived on £200 a year given to him by an old aunt. Huey Renske was a good-looking young man. He was liked and admired by everyone, by men and women. But he was not much more clever. And as he was not clever, he not got any good job, so there was no money with him. At the beginning, he worked in the stock exchange. Hardly 6 months he worked there, that he left. Again, he done some tea business. More than 6 months he done that one. There he not successful, he left that one also. He done some sherry business. Within 2-3 months he got tired of that sherry business and he left even that job also. Now, how he is leading his life? He is leading his life. One auntie, old woman, she is giving him £200 for 1 year. Now he was in the love with a girl called Laura Marton, who was the daughter of a retired colonel. Laura loved him very much and together they made a handsome couple. Of course, neither of them had any money of colonel, although he liked Huey, would not allow them to get married. Come to me, my boy, when you have got £10,000 of your own and we will see about it, he would say. Poor Huey, he was very miserable. Now he was in love with Laura. Who was Laura? Laura was the daughter of retired colonel, army officer. She also not much more rich. One day what she said, come and ask my father regarding our marriage, regarding our love. You express him and tell him that we both are ready to marry with each other. The pair was looking so handsome. It was looking like really God made for them each other. When Huey went towards him, he said, no, I can't marry my daughter with you, though I am loving you. Yourself, you must have to earn £10,000 your own. You should not ask to anyone. Your own you have to earn. When you are earning, that time you come towards me. I am ready to marry my daughter with you. Who kept this condition in front of whom? Laura's father kept this condition in front of Huey, the painter. One morning on his way to see Laura, Huey called in to see a friend of his who lived quite near. His friend's name was Alan Trower, and Trower was a painter. He was a strange man with a red beard. However, he was a very clever artist and many people bought his paintings. One day, actually he don't want to meet his friend. Actually, to whom he want to meet? He want to meet Laura. He want to meet Laura, whose house was near his friend's house. So one day morning he went to meet to whom? To his friend. At the same time, I will see my love also. In that manner he went. At that time, to whom he seen? He seen his friend, who was a great artist, who was a big painter. When Hughie come in, his friend called him inside. Come Hughie, come. Come inside, see my paintings. What was the name of the painter? Alan Traver. When Hughie come in, he found Traver finishing the full-size picture of a beggar man. The beggar himself was standing on a raised platform on the corner of the room. He was an old man, bent and wrinkled, with a piteous look on his face. Over his shoulder he had a ragged brown coat, all torn and dirty. His thick boots were patched and well worn, and with one hand he leaned on a rough stick. In the other hand he held out a hat for money. Come, 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 see my paintings. Who forced to whom? Alan Traver forced to Hughie. Hughie went inside. At the time, what he seen, his friend Alan Traver was finishing one painting. Full-size big painting it was. And whose painting it was? It was one beggar's painting. To draw that painting, what he done, his friend, there was one real beggar who was stood in one corner. How was that beggar? He was looking piteous look on his face. See, very poor he was looking on his face. Over his shoulder he had dragged a brown coat. There was a brown coat one side on his shoulder. Whose? Beggar's shoulder. All torn and dirty. That coat was all torn and dirty. Which color of that coat? The coat was brown in the color. His thick boots were patched and well worn. There were boots in the beggar's leg, but that boot were very dirty also and tore from everywhere. And with one hand on his rough stick, and other hand he held out a hat for money. In one hand there was a stick in his hand, and other hand there was a hat. How was that hat? He was collecting the money. Such pose was given by beggar. Where? In the Alan Traver's house. What a wonderful model, whispered Hughie as he shook hands with his friend. Really, very wonderful picture there. Whatever you drawn this beggar's picture, very nice there. A wonderful model, shouted Traver at the top of his voice. I should think so. You won't meet a beggar like him every day. Really, what a beggar there. Real beggar you brought here. Every day you can't meet such kind of beggar. Who said? Alan Traver said. Really. Poor old man, said Hughie. How miserable he looks. Really very poor that beggar. How poor he is looking. Of course, replied Traver. You don't want a beggar to look happy, do you? Really, he is looking so sad. Traver said. But you want to look that beggars are happy? Not possible. Who said? Traver said. Alan said to Hughie. How much does a model get for a sitting? Asked the Hughie. You drawn that picture, no? Then how much money you are giving for that beggar? Who asked to whom? Hughie asked to Alan Traver. 10 pence 1 hour. For 1 hour's sake, 10 paisa I am giving. For that beggar, 1 hour, how many paisas he is getting? 1 hour if he given the same pose, he is getting 10 paisa. And how much do you get for your picture, Alan? Okay, you are giving 10 paisa for 1 hour. Then if you are going to sell this picture, your painting, then how much you will get? Oh, for this I get 2,000 pounds. For me 2,000 pounds getting. Well, I think the model should get some part of that, cried Hughie. Hughie said, you are getting more money. It's totally injustice with that beggar. This beggar should get big amount from the painting when you are going to sell that. think the model should get some part of that, cried Hughie, laughing. He is working quite as hard as you. I know you are the great artist, but same pose he has to stand too long. His work also too hard. So it's very less amount you are paying to him. Nonsense, nonsense. Why look all that trouble of putting on the paint and standing up all day? It's not easy work, I can tell you. Now do stop talking, I am very busy. Smoke a cigarette and keep quiet. Nonsense, you don't know why you are talking such nonsense thing. How myself working hard, he is not doing like that way. Just he is giving his pose. If you have no idea about any business, just shut your mouth and keep quiet. I am very busy. Alan Travers said, I am very busy. Smoke a cigarette and keep quiet. Smoke cigarette and keep quiet. Don't talk me anything. After some time, a servant came to tell Travers that a frame maker wanted to speak to him. At the same time, who came inside? Servant of Alan Travers came, and what he said, sir, one photo frame maker came. He want to talk with you. Don't go away, Hughie, he said, and as he went out, I will be back in a moment. Okay, I will come. Tell them to stand there only, Hughie said. Alan said, and while going outside Alan to meet the frame maker, what he said to Hughie, Hughie, I will come back within 10 minutes. Till then you don't go anywhere. Be here only. The old beggar man sat down on a wooden seat that was behind him. He looked so lonely and sad that Hughie could not help feeling sorry for him. He felt in his pocket to see what money he had. All he could find was souvenir. Alan Travers went outside. There was one wooden piece. On that wooden piece, that beggar sat. He sat down on that one. As his friend Alan Travers went out, Hughie felt so bad about the beggar and he started to search money in his pocket. Beginning only I said he was poor. He was not clever. Though he was not clever, though there was no money with him, he started to search in his pocket whether I will get something or not. Then he got one coin in his pocket. What he done? Poor man, he thought, he needs it more than I do, and he walked across the room and slipped a souvenir into the beggar's hand. The old man jumped in a faint smile, crossed his lips. Thank you, sir, he said. Thank you. One coin he took, and to whom he given? To that beggar given. Beggar laughed, and what he said? Thank you, sir, thank you. But Hughie thought himself only, this is not big amount. I am giving very less amount to him. Still more amount I would like to give him. Then Travers arrived and Hughie said goodbye and left feeling little silly at what he had done. When Alan Travers came back, he said, I am going now, and said goodbye to whom? Said goodbye to Alan Travers, and Hughie left his friend's house. Then Travers arrived and Hughie said goodbye and left feeling a little silly at what he had done. That night he went to the Petal Club at about 11 o'clock and found Travers having a drink by himself. That night only by 11 o'clock, Hughie went. He went to the club. The same club his friend also came. Well, Alan, did you get the picture finished all right? He asked as he lit a cigarette. His friend painter also came there. Alan also came there. At that time, Hughie asked, your painting work completed or not? Finished and framed, my boy, answered Travers. And you might like to know that the old model you saw likes you very much. I had tell him all about you. Who are you? Where you live? How much you earn? And what you are going to do in the future. Yeah, my picture also completed, frame also completed, everything finished, and myself also told everything about you. who are you, what is your name, what you are doing, with whom you are living, how much you are earning. Everything I informed about you. To whom? To that beggar. My dear Alain, cried Hughie, I shall probably find him at home waiting for me. But of course you are only joking. Poor old things. I wish I could do something for him. I think he is dreadful that anyone should be so miserable. I have got heaps of old clothes at home. Do you think he would like any of them? Why, his rags were falling to the beds. Don't joke. If you told about me also, he can't do anything. But I am feeling very pity on the beggar. I have to help him. Who said? Hughie said. To whom? Hughie said to Alan. I can't help him by money, but I have a lot of old clothes in my house. Shall I give those old clothes to your hand? Will you give to that beggar? Who asked? Hughie asked to Alan Driver. But he looks so wonderful in them, said Driver. I wouldn't paint him in a good suit for anything. However, I will tell him of your offer. And now tell me, how is Laura? Laura, the old model, was quite interested in her. You won't mean you say you talked to him about her too, cried Hughie. Certainly I did. He knows all about the colonel and the lovely Laura and the 10,000 pounds. Okay, whatever it may be, I want to stop this matter here only. Alan said, now tell me, how is Laura? And what about your 10,000 pound? Whether you collected or not, everything I told. Hughie said, why? You said these things about my personal life also, why you shared with him? No, I shared everything about him. Who said? Alan said. The surprise. You told that old beggar all about me, cried Hughie, looking very red and angry. Now Hughie became so much angry. Why you told each and everything about me? My dear boy, said Driver smilingly, that old beggar, as you call him, he is one of the richest man in Europe. And now truth telling, see who telling truth? Alan telling truth. My dear boy, said Driver smiling, that old beggar, as you call him, is one of the richest man in Europe. He could buy all London tomorrow and never miss the money. He has a house in every capital cities. It's of gold plates and can prevent Russia going to war when he chooses. What on earth do for me? Exclaimed Hughie. Alan said him, now listen what I want to tell. The beggar who you are thinking to give the cloth, he is not a beggar. Who is he? He is the richest man in the Europe. What is his name? His name is London and Wandsworth, Baron Huxtable. What is his name? He is the richest man in the Europe. He is sitting in the gold plate. He can buy London and whatever in his mind, he can purchase every city and every capital. He has his own house. What I said Driver, one of the old man you saw today was Baron Huxtable. He is a great friend of mine, buys all my pictures and sort of things. He asked me a month ago to paint him as a beggar, and since he is paying, well, I could not refuse, and I must say, I think he had a splendid model. Now listen, Hughie, he is not a beggar. He is one of the richest man in Europe, and he is my close friend. So many long days over, he has a wish to give a pose like a beggar. His own picture he want in the beggar costume. So as he requested me, I done for him. And my every painting he is purchasing from me. Today's class, this is enough. Tomorrow's class, we will learn remaining lesson and we will try to even finish the lesson also. Till then, take care.